Hey guys, Mike B. Rolling here. I wanted to do a video today on, a lot of guys didn't understand what I meant by, well, let me just start from scratch. When you start a business, be an owner-operator, become a truck driver, whether it's as an employee or as owner-operator, you're going to come into a new category, a new tax bracket, a new revenue bracket. And the number one most common mistake I see so many people make, number one most common by far, is they get what I call redneck rich. They go from making, just throw some numbers out there. Maybe they're making $400 or $500 a week, bring home at their regular job, and they get into a trucking company. Now all of a sudden they're bringing home $950, $1,000, $1,200. Whatever it's a wide gambit of numbers that you could bring home depending on what you're pulling, where you're going, the whole 9 yards. But what they do is they see, oh my God, I'm making all this money. Now, I could go get a new car, and I can go get this, and I can go get that. And, I like to joke and say, they go get the latest commemorative Elvis plate because it's the newest one, and they just got to have it. New big old belt buckle, they get redneck rich. Well, that's the number one mistake you can make. You have to live in the market. All markets are cyclical. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to level off, they're going to stay. We're in a low spell of the market, and it's an extended low spell. In fact, I'm even starting to wonder if we're going to come back from where we're at. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It's up and down, up and down. The sun isn't shining every day. You're going to have rainy days in there. When you're making the big bucks, the best way to start out would be whatever you made at your job you're at before you started trucking, whatever you lived on, that revenue after you start trucking, live on that same amount of revenue. No matter how much more you're making, live on that same amount of revenue for a period of time till you can build up a savings account. If you're an owner-operator, all of that extra money above, say, your $500 revenue a week, now you're making $1,200, $1,300. Everything above $500 should be going directly into a maintenance account, because of one thing I promise you, that rig of yours is going to break down, and it's going to be expensive to fix it. And if you don't have the cash, you're going to be like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% of the owner-operators out here are a blown tire away from bankruptcy half the darn time. Something goes wrong with their truck, they're calling the company begging for money. And don't get me wrong, the companies will help you out. Most of them will loan you money to fix your truck. I've even had to do it a time or two, in the last 30 years or so. But you don't ever want to be in a position you have to ask somebody for money. You want to be living low enough below your means. During the high times, you're living well below your means. The reason you keep it down low is because when the slow time happens, you've got savings, your monthly income, your outgoing, overhead is low enough that you can still comfortably survive. You're not making a lot of savings and a lot of bank, but you're surviving. Whatever the lowest point that you can remember as an owner-operator, that's where you should be living at that point. And right now is a good marker to measure, okay, this right here, if I'm living and surviving right now, I mean, just when I say surviving, I mean paying the bills, maybe a couple $100 extra, take the wife and kids to Sizzler. You're doing better than a lot of truck drivers out here if you can do that. I myself, I'm not putting a lot of money in savings right now. I'll put a little bit, but not a lot. Not like I normally do, but just kind of hovering and floating, crossing, hoping like heck that no major catastrophic breakdown happened, because then there goes your savings account, and that's the nest egg. That's what makes you sleep good at night. But just number one mistake, y'all, don't get redneck rich. Especially I see it the most with owner operators. They go from driving a company driver, I'm making X amount of dollars. Next thing you know, they go buy them a rig and they start making a heck of a lot more, but they don't even understand yet the cost of, cents per mile, however you want to say it, but your cost of operation. To roll that truck down the road, you're going to have to set aside X% of your income for maintenance, for taxes, You know, it just the list is quite long of money needing to be put to the side, and they don't do that. From day one, they see, oh, I've tripled my income. Now I can go buy that brand new Corvette or that, you know, whatever it is they're buying. But they get in debt up to their freaking eyeballs because they're making great money. And what happens? You guessed it. Economy drops off, slows down. Now they're the ones out there whining and begging, don't get in the truck, and it's terrible, it's horrible. No, you know, you're never going to make any money in trucking. Well, they're probably in debt over their head. You know, you just live below your means. The more cash you have in the bank, you know, have your, as I say, as a good rule of thumb, 20 grand. You should have, as an owner-operator, $20,000, minimum $20,000 in a savings account earmarked for maintenance. On top of that, you're going to need another, I would say, roughly 7 to 10%, if not a little bit higher, for taxes. You know, just rough numbers. You know, everybody's different. You know, different deductions, different write-off. But you know, I'm not an accountant, so I can't give you advice. But you know, I put back a certain percentage for taxes, a certain percentage for savings when I can. That is, when the work's there. But you know, just live below your means. Make sure you got plenty of money in savings. Make sure you got your tax money, because come April 15th, government doesn't forgive debt, man. They're going to want their money, or their pound of flesh, however you want to look at it. But just don't get yourselves in debt. Stay, you know, you're going to be in some debt being a truck driver. I mean, you got to buy a truck, you got to buy a trailer, but you know, don't be one of these guys that says, you know, oh man, I need a tire for my truck. It's $500, and you call up your company asking for a com check or an EFS check, whatever the system they use. You know, I need to buy a tire. Can you give me a check for X amount in advance on my income? You should not be doing income advances out here. If you are, you're in danger. You're that close. If you have to borrow money to buy a tire out here on your truck, you are one major breakdown away from bankruptcy. You are in the red, man. You need to be way up in the black. Best thing I can advise you to do if you're in the red, start getting rid of debt. Offloading cars, I don't care, sell assets, do whatever you got to do to get your debt level down, your monthly expenses down as low as possible, so that you can live so much more comfortable through the slow times. And just, I don't want to say relax in the slow times, but you know, just, I'm not losing too much sleep over it. I'm getting a little bit nervous. It's been quite a while we've been slow, but I don't lose any sleep over it. I sleep like a baby, because I know I'm still making it. I'm still going to be here on the other side. And when the work picks back up, coffers will fill right up. We'll be up and running again. Can't stay slow forever. It's either got to do one of two things. It's either going to absolutely collapse and go belly up, done, or it's going to start picking back up again. Who knows? Either way, we're going to be just fine. But yeah, just want to do a video on living well below your means through the high times, so you can survive the low times and be pretty comfortable. So that's all I wanted to say. We'll catch y'all later.